It is, of course, 1924, Christmas Eve.
Moran, get in here. Baines, Eisner.
Oh, the old Belvedere house. I've admired it many times on my late-night architectural tours of Kingsport.
Each of you is having the same dream. You see a group of children playing on the hillside.
Never mind that. We don't want to be here all night, so I'll go around the right side and you go around the other and see if we can meet back at the house.
Meanwhile, Baines is making his way down following these tracks. That is a deer, but there's something off about it.
That's somehow much worse than it being a bear for some reason.
Yeah.
A reindeer.
You thrust your head into this near darkness and you look around and you see the body.
Things are getting weird. I'm loading my revolver.
Oh, I think there's someone outside.
Ho, ho, I think there's someone outside.
Oh, fucking hell. The Walt Disney Mansion. Goofy's killed the chauffeur out here.
I hate this.
You see there's something horribly wrong about the top half of his body. It seems to have been concertinaed onto his waist.
Some sort of like ambient sea sounds to try and get a child to sleep, something like that. I remember Grania, she would not sleep. I used to sit up going shh.
The dreams I've been having must have shaken me. Had not been this vivid in years. Not since... well, not since her. I slipped my hand into my shirt and I caressed that smooth figurine, run my fingertips over its familiar grooves, the arms and legs of the tiny man, his torso, his elongated face, the antlers. I remember her carving it suddenly like it was yesterday. Not yesterday, now. Her delicate fingers pressing the knife into the soft wood. Gentle but unstoppable. Revealing the shape that had always lived in that hunk of driftwood, only no one could see it in there. No one except her. I didn't even know it was for me. Not until later. And the waves lapping at our feet as we walked back along the shore in the twilight. Ah, that island. That sea. How she saved me from it. Merchant Navy, South Sea Islands, near enough Hawaii. Well, near enough for a gull or a fish, far enough for a boy with a shattered leg. And the ship completely torn, hull shredded on some invisible reef, and the fires blazing on the black waves. I could hear screams in the darkness, see bodies writhing silent in the night, but I am locked eyes with Tom. Young kid, still green. He's clinging out of this divot on the side of the anchor coil, and we're staring, trying to say something. And the ship's lurching now, lower decks filling, and we're turning faster. Another 5 seconds, maybe 10, his white knuckles are gonna burst. He's gonna slide all the way down that deck, staring into me the whole way, and burn up into nothing. And I don't want that memory. If I get out of this, not that I'll get out of this, I don't want that memory. Not running, more sliding, but I've got Tom, and we're over the side, and we're away from the brightness. Water like hitting stone, breath gone, stabbing in my left leg from something, eyes stinging. I've let go of the boy. Fuck knows where he is now. I can't breathe, can't kick, and there's some fucking demon fish trying to get me, pull me down. These thick black tentacles grasping. Fucking, I don't know, an octopoid size of my car. It's grappling my legs together, dragging me towards his beak like some painted kraken, and I get this weird feeling that they're actually arms, not squid arms, suckers and all, but thin black arms of a dog or a mouse or something. These black tubes waving about, spiraling in on themselves. Spaghetti hoops, high-pitched voice, dog face. It's a kid's show. Makes no sense. Must be running out of oxygen. I'm thinking like a madman. It's seaweed, of course, not tentacles, not arms. Long strands of this seaweed whipped about in the storm. Slimy, flat, clinging, black strands of hair, parting, joining. Her hair, plaited, leading up. And there's arms around me, and I'm on the beach. And she's there, in the dark. I'm reaching up to her face. The Texa Peakswa. And I black out.
The Apocalypse Players present Christmas in Kingsport by Oscar Rios. Heavily adapted by Joseph Chance. Starring Dan Wheeler as Detective Inspector Eamon Peacock Moran.
These rich folk, they don't need to shush themselves. They got records that play the shush.
Dominic Allen as Detective Constable Oliver Shakespeare Baines.
I'm at the front door with the shoe of the late chauffeur.
Danan MacLeod as Detective Constable Matthew Lefty Eisner.
Take the wooden statue out of my pocket and put it back around my neck. I think I was testing myself, and then I round the corner to where Moran said he'd be.
And Joseph Chance as your festive keeper of the arcane lore.
Well, I've alerted them to where I am, so I crouch down at the letterbox, assuming they have a letterbox, unless they have like an American-style, post box thing at the end.
Yes, there is one.
So if they've got a letterbox, I'll open it, and I'll call through and say, "Mrs. Belvedere, answer the door immediately. This is the police. You're under arrest on suspicion of murder."
There's one of those fringed protectors and you can't see through, but you are shouting through it.
Yes.
There's no answer. You can hear a strain of music coming from the neighbour nearby. A tune played perhaps on a wireless or maybe on a record player. Give me a... You're just shouting. Are you going to look through?
Yes, I'll prop the fringes open with the shoe as I reach for my gun with my free hand.
Yeah, nice. Shove it in there.
Phenomenal work.
You could probably give me a spot hidden, but it has to be hard.
Oh, I like the challenge. My spot hidden is 65. Here we go. What's that? 32 to pass? 32 to pass.
Ooh.
Okay, that's a 67. But
it's going wild.
I'm very tempted to push it. So,
yeah.
I
tell you what, the shoe probably isn't quite the right thing to push through there.
Yeah, so I put the gun back in my pocket, pull the shoe out, get my fingers right in there, push really get my hands through the letterbox
one of those
and have a really good look.
Really sprung letterboxes.
Yeah.
The thick fringe. Yeah, you know the ones. Nice.
We had a letterbox when I was growing our letter slot when I was growing up. We've got a really simple one now. But when I was a kid, it had such a strong spring on it, and it was like a really sharp edge on this brass thing. If you weren't quick, it'd cut your fucking fingers off. Hey! 75!
So you're just really straining, and then you pull back slightly in the wrong angle, and your little finger gets caught in the spring. And you're pulling back, and you're really putting into it, and so you push forward, but then now it's somehow stuck on it, and it's
all the skin's just like
so you're
rocking up.
You're there for a little bit. losing 1 hit point.
Just
Well, you
through
will
my
get
little
your
finger.
hand out.
That's how bad it is.
Yeah.
So much
it's all
blood.
the way up the left side of the hand.
A ninth of my health just on my finger.
It sort of represents the wear and tear.
Yeah.
You can still use
You
it.
round up. It's probably 1% of your health, but you round up.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you what, with a first aid, you'll get that back.
Yes.
Even a failed
It's not
first
that
aid.
Just kiss it better.
Maybe on a failed first aid. First aid, that's not true. You guys are professionals. So I think,
Professional what?
house callers at the moment. So Baines seems to be talking nonsense about the chauffeur. But when now he's shouted to suggest an arrest, so... I mean, you both know Baines well enough.
Right.
You know Shakespeare well enough. He doesn't do this if he doesn't think he's onto something.
Yeah, Moran, we better go join him. He's a strange fish, but he's clever. We need to make sure he's...
You're damn right, but there's...
what do you say?
And I lower my voice and lean in close to him and say,
Yeah.
there's a real funny voice coming out of there.
Mickey Mouse is in the house.
Sounds like fucking Mickey Mouse.
Well, there.
When was Mickey? I mean, what era is Mickey Mouse? 30s probably rather than 20s, right?
Steamboat Willie, the original.
Yeah, Steamboat Willie. Is that 30s?
Yeah. Earlier, I think. Or maybe not.
1928.
1928?
There you go.
So this is the birth of Steamboat Willie, isn't it?
So we hear and we say, that'll make a great kid's character.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't heard anything yet.
It sounded like some sort of mouse driving a steamboat. I say.
You should come and tell this to one of my friends at some point.
Sorry.
I'm sure they'd love to write this down, maybe make an animated film out of it.
Yeah.
So, right, what's really going on? So,
I've run up to you and I've sort of said, here, did you hear that? He seemed to be shouting, making some sort of arrest.
I'm really concerned with this weird fucking voice. So I do...
You've mentioned the voice.
Yeah.
If anything, it reminds you of... there's a dog cartoon character called Weakheart, who has been on the talkies as well, and so you don't say it reminds you of Mickey Mouse.
Sounds like Weakheart, you know, that weird dog on a talkies.
Yeah, I know of it. Yeah. What, in
I
here?
mean, that was a crazy thing. I mean, Eisner, could you give me a spot hidden?
Yeah. That's almost suddenly a success. 25 on a 55.
Yeah.
Hard.
So you smell the whiskey on him, on Moran. It's good whiskey. It's the good stuff.
Here, Moran, there may be someone inside, but hey, correct me if I'm wrong. Priority number 1 sounds like Baines is trying to make an arrest around there. We need to go and assist, no?
So, sorry, did it sound like Baines was trying to make an arrest of someone?
No. He was saying, come out. You're under arrest.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. I mean, he's trying to make an arrest. He's sort of...
We all knocked on that door. There's no one coming to the door. Baines is being weird. I think that's...
Let's have a fast talk off.
Yeah, I ain't so sure.
I don't
you
think we...
roll fast talk.
Yeah.
I don't think we want to listen to Baines banging on the door and yelling about making an arrest. You know what he's like.
What are we expecting here then? What were you expecting? Just an empty house? I mean, he's
playing the big guy. He's just we've been told it's an empty house, and everything I've seen so far tells me it's an empty house.
What have we got?
Might be playing the white guy. I mean, I failed by 3.
I've passed my fast talk by 8.
Not inclined to push it, so I listened to Moran. I think.
I think, yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, he's a commanding officer.
Totally.
Baines, in the moment, it doesn't feel like the backup pool hasn't gone.
It
doesn't mean there's...
Given my...
Be him being weird.
Sound like he's in
given
trouble.
my success on my hard talk, my fast talk, my hard talk.
Hard talk.
Hey, this is hard talk, guys.
Welcome to Hard Talk,
Hard Talk.
with Eamon Moran.
Given my success on my fast talk, I'd like to make an offer if it's all right. While I'm talking fast at him and quite loud, I would like to be trying the door. I'm assuming it's going to be locked, but I would like, if it's locked, I would like to try and pick the lock with...
I really should say one thing. You can always make an offer. You never have to ask whether it's all right to make an offer. Whether I'll go for the offer is...
This is my offer.
That's something entirely different. But I do really like the offer. I like the offer a lot.
Yeah,
but I don't think you can pick a lock and do a fast talk roll at the same time.
Yeah,
so what I'm going to say is you're trying the door at the same time. And actually, I think that galvanizes both of you. You try the door. It's definitely locked.
And I give it a little... While I'm talking, I give it a little...
To be fair,
little wiggle.
You give it the wiggle. What's your strength?
I'm very strong.
You are strong, I seem to recall. You feel a little bit of give.
Oh, interesting.
You know, the old shillelagh arm's a little bit out of practice. Maybe time to put that practice in. Or shillelagh shoulder, maybe.
Is it fair to say that, although I completely defer to him because of his success on Fast Talk...
And because of my rank.
And because of your rank. Yeah. And because of your rank, sir. I'm tugging before locks. You also...
Rolling your eyes.
Probably.
I would have thought.
You're also... and I won't backchat to Moran because I know that he's potentially a quite dangerous person. Like, I feel that he is anyway. But
I think you're right.
You know, I think he is, but also, Moran, you would know that I'm pretty good with locks. That's all I might mention.
Okay.
Eisner, what I'm going to...
Whether or not that's in your mind at this moment is different. But
we're going to suspend Eisner's action, because I think what you've clocked, Eisner, is that he's in the zone. He knows this guy, and yet he is determined. You think back to this business of the voice you might have heard.
Yeah.
Can you give me a listening roll? And while that roll's happening, as I tend to do, as is my style, Baines, you pull your hand out, and there's blood coming down your wrist. Would you like to do first aid on yourself? Bandage that bad boy up? Would you want to press on?
No, I'll press on.
The blood is coming all the way down the pinky, dripping off into the snow.
A mystery must be solved. There'll be time for plasters and bandages and kisses later.
Eisner, meanwhile, what's your list?
I'm going to push it, because I didn't hear anything.
Okay.
But I want to push it.
So I want Baines to tell us what he's doing, and I want Moran to roll his strength against the door, and I want Eisner to roll his check as soon as he's told us in a second. I love that Baines... I love that. Those of you listening by radio, Dan Wheeler playing Eamon Moran.
He's clutching his
He's just
head.
held his head, and he's wincing in the manner...
Those of you listening by radio, I love... We're now on radio, are we?
I don't know.
Those of you listening
On the wireless. Those of you listening on the wireless.
Here on this precious day. Baines.
Fine. I'm going to shoot the lock off.
Oh, holy fuck. Well.
Game on!
And there's no passion in what I'm doing. I'm very methodical.
Well, clearly you're resisting arrest.
I say out loud. Bang!
Okay. So, what are we doing, Eisner?
I remember the technique I was taught when hunting or tracking to silence one's own breath, to tune out sounds that are near you, however loud they may be, and to focus on the distant. And because there's been all this back and forth with Moran and everything, I take a moment of I touch my chest and I take a moment of I breathe in and just hold the breath, and I just focus on any sound I might be able to hear within the house, which is probably about to be cut short by a gunshot. But in that moment, that's what I do. And I'll re-roll. I'll push the roll. What is my listening in? Okay. 17.
Nice.
Which is not... that's a hard success. Oh, it is a hard success. 21's a hard success. 17.
So you hear
I don't want it.
bells, which is the first time you've heard them. The bell of the sea.
And it sounds like a dockyard bell. I sort of...
And the ocean. It sounds like a ship's bell, and like an old ship.
Yeah.
Like an 1850s kind of style ship. I mean, you say that as if you've got that much nautical reference, but of course you were
I was in the Merchant Navy. Yeah.
So it's got that rich, resonant, old ship's bell quality.
This is the sound I was longing to hear when I was drifting out there that time. But
Right.
It's coming from inside the house. That's something else.
It's something. And you think you hear something like, they're close.
What the fuck?
And then there's the sound of the shot. You give me a constitution check, because your ears were very finely attuned to that moment. And also there's the sound of splintering wood.
Yeah. Which I'm also...
Simultaneously.
That's a 68 and a 55 constitution, so not good.
Yeah, okay. So your ears are ringing, and I mean, literally, you have to take a moment to step back and cover your ears.
Yeah.
The gunshot is very loud. It's unexpected. It's just a bad piece of timing in terms of the focus. So just for a moment, you're out of things.
Yeah.
Baines, can you just tell me, don't roll a 96 to 100 on your firearms. Otherwise, this thing's coming off. Well, certainly receiving terrible point-blank damage.
Yeah, it's a normal fail.
Yep, that's fine. That's fine. Bits of wood and metal come off, but you've done a lot of damage to the door, and a swift kick might well resolve.
Yeah.
It doesn't swing open from the shot.
Yeah, I'll give it a push.
Shoulder or kick?
Yeah, with my foot.
So it swings open, and we cut over to Moran.
So, I've just been consulting my 40th anniversary Call of Cthulhu Keeper rulebook, just so I could double check before I admitted the numbers on my dice to the Keeper. And I can recommend to listeners that this is available from Chaosium. I ordered it from the website. I haven't been sponsored by Chaosium at time of recording, but I welcome any financial investment in our endeavours. It's a lovely book.
You read the rules?
It's a lovely book, leather bound. So I was double checking the rules about fumbles, because I rolled a 99. But
I also saw that video of you where you made it through like 5 pages and collapsed on the floor. I don't know how good it is.
So I rolled a 99, but my strength is 70, so that isn't a fumble.
It's not a fumble.
But yes, I failed, I think, to break the door.
The wood does splinter. You've done some serious damage, but despite the fact that you felt there was this give, it must be a really well-made lock.
Yeah.
It's an expensive house, beautifully put together, old as it may be. It's got this real strength, and so you're really surprised to find that your body's bounced off this thing. You gave it everything. Got a bit of a bruise there,
but
on the shoulder. I wouldn't.
But immediately after this, I hear the shot and the splintering from round the front. And
Yeah. And Eisner covers his ears, takes a small step back. You can see something that he might have heard something by the door just before that.
Well,
you're not out of it.
Priorities. I just yell. I just say, "It's Baines, quick!" And I start running around the house to get to the front door.
Yeah. And you see Baines, I think, going in.
Yes.
I don't want to pimp you out there, but I think you've kicked it out there.
Yeah.
And you're going into the foyer.
Gun drawn, aimed.
Yeah. So you get that sense that he's putting his arms forward and he's in, gun raised. So Baines, I'm going to give you the edge on this one, regardless of dexterity order. Are you going to...
Well, is there anything... What do I see?
Yeah. It's not like you're just charging and shooting or anything like that.
Oh, no. I'm very methodical. I walk slowly into the building.
So, to your left is an open entrance to the parlour. It's double doors. One door is open. You can see inside a little. In fact, I'll come back to that. It is the only door that is open. To your right, there's double doors that are closed. And directly ahead is an alcove area, fairly established, with cupboards and an area for coats. It's beautifully laid out. Wonderful fin de siècle French style. There's art in the foyer as well. Another glass panel which you can't see through. It's frosted glass, coloured frosted glass. It goes through into the parlour, and there's some quite lavish steps leading up to the right. There's marble at the bottom, and then to a carpeted sequence of steps above. There's still marble underneath. They lead up and away. It's one of those square, rising, impressive stairways that dominate this central foyer area.
I see.
And you can see that it goes straight up all 3 floors at a glance. There's nothing untoward below. Glancing into the parlour, give me your famous spot hidden as you glance into the parlour, as this is your moment of being alone.
If I hear the inspector running up behind me,
you can hear me.
I will say, as I walk towards the parlour, I say,
The shoe on the doorstep there, Inspector, belongs to the chauffeur who is in the thicket, dead. His upper body has been concertinaed in, and there was no blood, but I suspect Mrs. Belvedere to be the murderer.
Moran, could you give me an English language roll?
Yeah.
We should proceed with caution.
And Baines, could you give me a spot hidden? And Eisner, could you give me a dream lore roll?
Yeah.
I've rolled a 100.
Yes.
Very rare.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
I'd say it's 1 in 100 that I roll though.
Yeah, that's...
How did Moran do?
I passed my English language, so I just about understand.
You understand
He's saying.
everything that he's just said.
And
it's a lot to take in.
It is, but I say, well...
You can see the thicket as you're
I
running.
do, but I still have my wits about me enough to say, well, it sounds like you got the report covered, so when we knock off tonight, you can write that up and have it on the chief's desk on Boxing Day morning.
But how will we explain the bipedal moose?
I'm going to do another English language roll. I just about pass, and I say,
Sounds delicious.
I say, let's leave the fanciful creatures for another day, shall we?
Nothing fanciful about it, Inspector. The footprints are there for all to see. I don't know what Mrs. Belvedere was doing, dressed as a moose, when she killed the chauffeur.
Hold up a hand to indicate that he should stop talking so we can just have a look around the house.
I don't stop talking.
Yep.
But it suggests to me that she was in a state of fragile mental
I
health.
put my hand over his mouth to stop him talking.
Possibly the pressure of Christmas preparation alone. Without her maid, who she has sent on holiday, finally pushed her over the edge. She burnt the gingerbread, blamed the chauffeur, and in a fit of rage, in her reindeer costume, chased him down across the garden, and then stamped on his shoulders until he concertinaed into his own waistband.
Under my breath, I mumble, talk about Blarney.
Now let's get in there and put that bitch on ice.
How did you do, Eisner?
I rolled a 63 on my 60 dream lore.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So the bell, you can't place it. I'm going to give you +1 to your dream lore.
Oh, wow. I initially, when you added to my dream lore, I felt like it would be a good thing, and now I'm starting to realise it probably isn't. Yes.
You can't place it. There's something about the bell that is deeply unsettling to you. Perhaps noting the obvious, but especially with the tinnitus now ringing on top, you've got this sort of ringing on ringing. Are you going to join the others around the front?
Yeah. I'm going to try and find Moran. I assume he went around the front.
You pace around, and you kind of catch up. So Baines thinks that he's stopped speaking, but actually, he carries on. And we'll come to some of that later. I'd like you to continue at the door, but part of what inspires you to continue at the door is you fumbled your spot hidden, but you saw the snow that was inside the parlour, and your brain couldn't understand why the snow was there. The snow leads up to 2 double doors at the back of the parlour. I mean, the parlour is absolutely beautiful. It's very Victorian, stately, beautiful furniture with portraits. There's a portrait of Nora Belvedere and her former husband, her deceased husband. She is the widow Belvedere, and the doors are entirely frozen shut with foot-thick ice on them, which, as we know, is, or should be, physically impossible. It's very much frozen.
Back anymore.
Very frozen. but it's just the doors that are in this state, and it's very artful. It's almost like an animator has swept a beautiful trail of snow into the room, leading from the door.
Cold never bothered me anyway.
We have to cut all of that for copyright reasons.
I don't know. Maybe not.
They can't copyright words. Oh,
I'm afraid
Fucking
you
Walt
can.
Disney, you can.
Shit, maybe you can. Up. TM.
yeah.
So, you're going to lose one sanity for the fumble,
Yeah.
and your involuntary action was logorrhea as the hand comes away.
Oh, the snow in the house, and ice on the walls, It reminds me of Father. Oh, Father, he would never let us light the fire. Mother and I, frozen to bits. Oh, we huddled together in that frozen manse, that chilly nothing. And why did he leave us? Nothing but ice and broken promises. Oh, God. What if this is Father's house? What if this is that dream? The dream of sand and heat. Oh, but reality, cold, ice cold. Fear, a chill that cuts the heart. Oh, thickens the blood. Will we ever be free? Will we ever thaw the endless winter of the human experience? Oh, God.
And at that point, Eisner joins us at the foyer. And the three of you sort of have this moment. You have a breather together. And Baines, you come to your senses, looking there.
Moran, Baines, there's a bloody handprint up there on the roof. I should have mentioned it before. Looks like someone was climbing up, injured themselves, or falling out the window, injured themselves. Something's gone wrong here. I say we need to make our way inside.
At this point, we all sort of are inside, right? Just inside the foyer.
Yeah, you're in the foyer. You get from the way he says that, he means...
Right,
He means further. Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
Further into the body of the
we
house.
need to get deeper into...
I hold my other
Full sweep of
I
the
hold my
property.
other hand up, so at this point I've got one hand up to stop one of them talking, the other hand up to the other.
All right.
And
Tell
I
us your
sort of-
grand plan, Moran.
I do this deep breath, and like my shoulders rise and drop. Like, I can't believe I'm stuck with these two fucking idiots on Christmas Eve. I feel like fucking Bruce Willis in Die Hard. And then I look at...
Just as a quick, I'm just going to secretly do this. I'm going to do a psychology check to see if I see the amount of disdain he has for me.
I didn't know Bruce Willis just stood at a door and listened to Mickey Mouse in Die Hard. I found a body, mate.
I got a
somewhere.
hard success on that, just for the record.
Oh, well,
I mean, I think as the go-between here, it's
I'm used to
Moran
having
is-
rank pulled on me, and I respect Moran. I certainly wouldn't cross him. But I just wanted to see in that moment if I was being treated the same as Baines, or if he had any more respect for me. And if it seemed about equal, I'm just going to log that mentally.
I think... I think in Moran's defence, I don't think he was necessarily lumping the two of you into the same ineptitude. He is, but I think it's that top-down.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
the detective inspector. He's the older man.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
exactly the kind of. It's dickish, I suppose, but it's nothing. He's like that with all of the men.
How old is Moran? Just so I'm certain.
46.
Oh, okay.
I think if it's
Well,
right,
that's okay,
if it's
yeah.
all right to add a little something to what you've said,
Yeah,
Joseph,
of
which
course.
is entirely accurate. I think maybe if it was a success, I think maybe what you interpret is that it's more a case of like, I expect this bullshit from Baines.
What, detective work?
All mouth. I expect that this talk from Baines, but I kind of, what I don't want on top of this is like, it's kind of like, oh, please, come on, don't you start.
Okay.
I expect a little bit better from you. It's that. So actually,
Yeah. Okay. In which case, I don't take it personal. I just, I'm still thinking about the fact he
what a
was
relief.
talking about.
I would hate for you
words.
to take it personal.
This is all in my own head. But, I'm still concerned about the voices you were hearing at the back door going, "Ha-ha! Oh, Mickey, let's go on the jungle ride."
Hey, I'm concerned about the voices you were hearing at the back door.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm concerned that our only task was to deliver this eggnog, and you failed.
And then involuntarily, at this moment, stood in the hall staring at this ice-covered door like something out of a talkie. I reach into my pocket and pull out the bottle of eggnog, and I say, "Gentlemen, we have a bottle of eggnog to deliver. It's Christmas Eve. It will be delivered."
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers.
Moran, I think you've glimpsed the snow on the inside, but you haven't actually seen the frozen doors inside the parlour at this stage.
Okay, fine.
You don't have to do a sanity roll, in case that was...
What a relief.
That could go all tits up. You think you've seen some snow in there, and you're thinking, is one of the windows open? Maybe it's come down the chimney, but something's off.
And just to check, this is the sort of inside.
Yeah.
Inside.
The foyer, but then the parlour is a closed room. It's a proper room.
This is the sort of inside-outside door? Like as in there's
I should be a little careful with my terms for the description of the ground floor, really. So there's this tiny vestibule area where the front door is, where the front door was. It's been kicked open and smashed. But then that leads immediately into this parlour area. No, not parlour, foyer area. And this foyer is rather grand, this marble staircase as described. And then just off to the left of that cupboard area, there's, by the staircase, there's a little corridor that leads away deeper into the house. And then to the right, there's a set of double doors. Immediately as you go into the foyer, to the right, there's a set of double doors. And that leads to what you assume to be the dining room. On the map, it is marked the dining room. And, of course, would lead further round to the back of the house on the right-hand side to that back entrance, which you think, from the glimpse that you had of it, was the kitchen. And then on the left-hand side from that foyer, as you come in, there's these double parlour doors, one of which is open, allowing this view in. And you can see a fireplace there dead ahead. And you can also see... well, as you go in, you will eventually be able to see the doors to the library, which is on the back left as marked on the map. Obviously, to you guys, you would assume that to be a library or a study room, or, it's like a generic way in which these big old houses are set up. They're lovely, well-developed rooms, and sort of beautifully appointed. So yes, there's that sort of library. And so you assume that somewhere sandwiched between the library and the kitchen at the back is a room that you don't know, and that is actually marked on the map as the breakfast room, which also makes perfect sense to you. You, of course, are looking into this parlour, which has this confusing swirl of snow in it, despite the fact that it seems to be closed off to the environment outside, that is to say. And it's this sumptuous parlour room where you'd entertain your guests, presumably before taking them in to dinner. And it has this trail of snow in the middle, but not on the left. So to be clear, as you're looking into the parlour from the foyer, the trail of snow is to the right of the room, seemingly coming from the library doors. Whereas there is nothing, there is no trail of snow to the left, so it sort of snakes into the centre of the room from the right-hand side, if you see what I mean, as you were looking in from the foyer.
Right, okay, yeah. But also, as a locksmith, as someone with a degree of locksmithing, I just want to check, I wouldn't necessarily think this would be a locked door. It would probably be open.
Yeah, you could...
If it's inside the house, it's not like everyone goes to bed and locks every door in the house. It's frozen, maybe, shut, but...
Well, the parlour door has been opened. All of the other doors are closed. You can see the cupboard doors, the dining room doors.
Yeah.
So, Baines, you've seen the snow. The snow in the room. The two of you, Moran and Eisner, you see this, and it really draws your attention. There's the last of the daylight streaming in. The tower above brings in a lot of light, because that's... The bottom floor has become quite darkened. It's twilight has taken hold.
Is there any obvious way at all that the snow could have
That's
got
what I
in
was
here?
gonna
Is there
ask.
an open window or a skylight or...
So all of the blinds have been drawn, all the curtains have been closed. You can go into the parlour and check.
That's what I would like to do. I'll just, after I've done, I've had my hands up, side, and look at them both, and I signal to Baines to stay put in the foyer and like keep watch, and then I signal to Eisner to come with me into the.
Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go straight upstairs.
And we start making our way that way.
Are you going to wait till he's gone? Are you going to go at the same time?
Yeah, I'll wait till he's in the room and then I'll go straight upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Moran and Eisner, where are you going? It's dark. Do you want your flashlights on? I mean, you can see. It's not like it's impossible to see, but details-wise, you can go for the double-hand secure shot. There's bonuses to both positions. I'm just going to check if there's a flashlight.
What I was actually going to do is, because of everything that's happened, is as I was following through, I was going to take my shotgun out of my shoulder bag and load it.
Lovely.
Is it dark enough to warrant a flashlight? Well, then I get my flashlight out. Yeah. I mean, I figure at this stage, we have made an awful lot of noise. It's not like we're going to be sneaking up on anyone. We might as well see what we're looking at.
Yeah.
In fact, I say that out loud. I say, this guy has made such a fucking racket that we ain't going to be sneaking up on no fucker. So let's just make sure we see where we're going and we're well out.
Her Honour, Mrs. Belvedere is here. Well, she'd have heard us by now. I think we gotta assume the worst from what we've seen. So
That's right.
And I say that as I cock my my sawn off.
What we've seen now.
Forearm.
I think this place is deserted and someone's left the window open to leave this drift of snow here.
Mass
in the foyer.
footsteps.
Or the foyer.
So you say that, as the two of you say that, you're standing either side of this snake of snow, and it almost mocks the logic, because all of the window shutters are down, thick curtains drawn across as well. Light comes from either side, but no sign at the entrance end of the parlour.
Yeah,
of any
I
snow.
see that as I speak those words, but I say them almost to convince myself rather
Absolutely.
than anything else.
It seems very human and good. It's the light against the dark, because as you now drink in the sight with your heavy flashlight. I want to say lithium batteries. They probably aren't. I think one of those big batteries they had in the 20s.
Mercury or something? I don't know.
Mercury batteries.
Who fucking knows?
Baines' torch is a crank. He has to crank his flashlight up. Yours is one of those fancy ones, Moran. Mm-hmm. It's a long pole with a lens and beam on top. And you are looking at a perfectly frozen door. It reminds you, instinctively, both of you, of a tomb. It just has that quality because of the depth of the ice on it. It's faced almost like stone. And the snow has tracks in. But could you give me a sanity check?
Yeah.
For the ice on the door.
Oh, no, that's a fail on my sanity.
Yeah, almost suddenly on mine as well. Where's my sanity? Yeah, I got an 88 on a 56.
Okay. So, Moran, I think you walk straight up to this door and you put your ear against it, and it's an involuntary action. You don't realise you're doing it. You put your broken cheek and ear, and you lean. And you remember the cold compress. Maybe you also remember Lucy Powers coming over to help placing that cold compress on your ragged and broken cheek in that moment. Was that when things first started between the two of you? With a look between your eyes, the tenderness of the young woman concerned for the handsome hero of the field?
Yeah.
Was it a great moment of weakness, or was it the right choice? And then her face begins to change, or seems to change, and it's as if she's that pale-faced, beautiful girl you saw on the snowbank of Central Hill as the children were sledding down. And you think of Grania, and you think of your wife, and then you suddenly feel the intense cold of this frozen doorway against your cheek. It all seems to cohere back. But then isn't that impossible? Because wasn't Lucy Powers too young? How old were you when you broke your cheek? Everything begins to fracture. It seems to fracture in that moment. And the ice cold of this door, this inches thick ice, really pushes your sense of reality in that moment. You come to yourself. You come to your senses. You'd really like to have a drink. Another shot of whiskey.
Yeah. I think I do. I think at this point, I take up my hip flask and I drain it.
Oh wow, the whole thing.
Yeah, well, it was half. I think it was probably half empty by this point, anyway.
No, I mean, you only had a shot before.
Yeah, and I had a couple of shots, and I gave him one.
I mean, I don't want to stop the enthusiasm of your commitment to the booze, and I think he would. I think he would have a hefty shot. But we said that it's a long flask, and I think let's say it's a bit over half that you've had, by way of a compromise. I don't want to take that massive
he's
away, but I do think he can handle it. I think he can handle that much.
Yeah.
In one long, hefty, glugging swig, he takes it down like a pirate.
I mean, I'm self-medicating heavily.
But he's okay.
Mm. Yeah.
Eisner, I think you sit down at the very end of the snow. You only lost the one sanity, but you just look at this. You look at this snow and you sat there. You've got the shotgun there. You don't sit cross-legged. You sort of slump down. And as a result, the two of you completely miss the fact that Baines goes upstairs at that point. I mean, you start to get to your knees as you're looking at the door, you're looking at the tracks, you're looking at the door, and you realise the tracks are the same, cloven hooves. But also children's feet, barefoot. Their bare feet can be seen in the snow.
Jesus. Hey, Moran, this kid's here.
And Moran, you look at that too.
Yeah, and I think that maybe hits a bit of a soft point. And until this moment, I think I've been going through the motions, thinking it's fucking Christmas Eve. We just have to check this out, and then I can go home to the family.
Yeah.
But if there's kids, we need to find out what the fuck is going on here. So, I take my 38 in hand, and I start following the kids' footsteps.
Well, I mean, they lead to one place and one place only, which is the door.
Yeah. Well, I go up to the door, and you already said I was up there listening, putting an ear to it. Well, putting my scarred face up against it, right?
Okay.
And it is ice. This isn't an optical illusion. It's
absolutely ice.
And I put my shoulder to the door to see if I can. Well, I try the handle. If it's stuck, I see if I can.
You can't even get to the handle. It must be 8 or 9 inches thick.
I get my. I've got a book of matches. I take out one match and just hold it up to see whether. I mean, it's a stupid thought, but like, is this real ice? Does heat melt it?
So you light the match right next to it, and the ice begins to melt. Holding the match there, and the ice melts, and the drips are coming down. And then the match goes out, and you go to get another match, and instinctively, and you start to see the ice reforms.
Yeah, Moran.
Could you both do a power roll?
Yeah.
Ooh. 35.
Oh, no.
35. Was it power? Yeah.
That's a pass for Eisner.
It's not quite a fumble for me. It's just a bad fail.
Okay, so I'll come back to you. Meanwhile, Baines.
Yes.
Upstairs, Eisner, you're holding it together. just about holding it together. Baines, you're going upstairs.
Oh, yeah.
So you're up onto the carpeted section that bends around, being cautious, I take it, rather than just charging.
Oh, yeah. Very calm.
So as you're coming up and round, you can see, so to your right, you can see a door,
Yeah.
which is closed, and then on the landing ahead, you can see a door dead ahead,
Yeah.
which is facing effectively south, away to the coast. And then the stairs lead round to the left, and there's another door there. So there's 3 doors off this vestibule,
Yeah.
all the way. Landing. One to the right, one dead ahead, one to the left. Which instinct tells you these are the rooms above the parlour, the library as you would understand it to be.
I take the first door on the right.
So that leads into a corridor. And the corridor has 2 more doors, one to the left and one to the right. And these are slightly unusual. The door on the right-hand side is covered with thick foliage, vines and a bird of paradise. And the door to your left has metal bars, and behind it, an old Italian plasterwork falling to pieces.
I would like to do pitch to do a poetry roll to see if I recognise this as some sort of literary allusion.
I like it.
I've done with my dice.
I hate it.
Oh, there they are. That's a 52 on a 41. I'm going to spend the luck.
Whoa. You're not going to push it. You're going to spend the luck. That's a lot of luck.
Yeah, but I've got loads of it anyway. So that's 11 luck, which takes me down to 59.
Classy.
Dom always has a fucking reservoir of luck waiting behind him. I don't know how it works.
That is quite a lot of luck. It was random. I rolled it randomly.
I think that's the right call.
It's like tarot, isn't it?
Yeah.
You see patterns rather than random. But
Yeah.
10 points off. 10 points off with a score that's below 50. I think that's luck territory rather than
To be fair,
territory.
it's below 50.
If this was pulp, it'd be a different matter because you need the luck to stay alive.
So, Baines, with that excellent stroke of luck, you might be onto something. And forgive me, because I've also missed a door. There's a little door which you're pretty sure leads to some kind of cupboard or laundry room or water closet, which appears to have no special markings on. It's just an ordinary it's a cherry wood door, beautifully made. Yes, you begin to become aware that there may be a metaphysical aspect to what is being presented here. You see a door of ice downstairs. You've seen a door of Florentine decay. And you've seen a door of paradisal loveliness. If it was a poem, you don't think it's a poem you know, but it definitely seems like the traditions of poets. And
Right, if me, Dominic Allen, had to make a guess, I'd be guessing Divine Comedy or something biblical.
could you give me a power check?
A what?
A power roll.
Oh, power. I think you said a parrot check.
Could you give me a parrot check?
You've made up some really bullshit skills here, Joe.
Your parrot's dead.
One of you may have parrots of the South Sea Islands as a skill.
That's a hard success.
You know who I'm talking to. It's a hard success.
It is.
Good. Okay, so you keep your cool, because you'd seen the ice doors down below. This isn't natural. The bird of paradise looks real. And as you look back at the Florentine door, or it could be a sort of Venetian door, maybe, you get that same sense of Florence, that height of the Medici period.
Yeah.
With this beautiful but falling apart bas relief sculpture behind old iron spikes.
This is why I'm thinking Divine Comedy.
You think that it taps into the dream visions of poets, and I suspect you think that you're in the right place at the right time, given your own predilections.
Yes.
We'll get back to Moran in a second, because he is suffering an involuntary moment, both literally and in game terms. But Eisner, you sense something out in the hall, moving quickly.
And So,
Yeah.
on the map, just so I'm clear.
So the foyer.
Yeah.
Sorry, I called it the hall. So you've gone through the vestibule area.
Yeah. So we're in the foyer.
You're in the parlour now.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
The fireplace.
And the frozen door. I don't know there's a library
Let's
behind
call it
it,
the library.
but it would be legal.
Let's call it the library.
Yeah. But I hear something to our right in the foyer.
Well, you'd think you see something as well. Something dashes across. Something small and low.
In which case, I think I probably I shout. I probably turn and I shout, "Baines, is that you?" And then I move to the door with my sawn off over my forearm.
And it definitely isn't Baines, because what you're doing is you're alerting Baines to it.
Yeah.
And so, Baines, you hear this as you're stood in the passageway above.
Because I'm also I don't know Baines is upstairs, right?
No.
So I know he's around somewhere.
But he's no longer there. The door to the dining room is still closed.
Somewhere I'm saying out loud, Inferno. Huh.
There is this...
How big did it look? Could I do a natural world roll to see if I could recognise? Was it a fox, a raccoon, or was it bigger?
Well,
ear,
as you're looking up the stairs, you see what it is. It turns and looks at you. And it's about 3 foot long.
I don't like long. I like tall. Long freaks me out.
It has furry back legs like a big rabbit or a fat rat, maybe. And it's wearing little dungarees with large buttons, and the braces go over the shoulders, which are quite patchy and hairy up to the nipples, and the nipples are quite human. And then the arms are just kind of bendy tubes.
No.
And it's got white gloves, livery gloves with buttons on the gloves.
No.
You notice it's only got 3 fingers and a thumb, and its face looks a little bit like a cartoon character. But it appears to be alive, and it turns and goes, "Oh, well, right here." Oh, and can you roll sanity for me?
Yes.
Fucking hell. We've ended up in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Fucking Christ.
It's a nightmare.
I mean, it is.
You remember me, Eddie? It's me who killed your brother.
It is Mickey Mouse. I don't care what anyone says. Okay, that's an 83 on my my 55.
But for legal reasons, it's not Mickey Mouse.
But for esoteric and arcane reasons, it is. It's.
Oh, right here.
Listen, if
Could you
yeah.
I kind of want to know what. No, sure. You lose 1d3 sanity.
Okay. Where are we? That's a 3.
Yeah.
Good.
So is that 4 you've lost now?
Yep.
Do you have an instinct what your involuntary action might be?
I was levelling my shotgun at the thing, so I feel like my involuntary action might be to squeeze the trigger.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm honest,
Yeah.
I think that might be it. Initially, when I chased it out, I was alerting Baines, but I thought it was probably just some sort of
And I
wild
think-
thing, which I would have no hesitation in shooting
it's,
anyway. So
I think it's both barrels. And there's chunks of wood and steps go up, and carpet, and you hear this.
Christ.
He's been practicing that, hasn't he?
It's just children, isn't it? And you see something jump into the air, and you think you might see stars, golden stars,
Spinning around its head with the little Tweety birds.
colourful yellow stars, and maybe there's some boxing gloves swinging round for a few seconds,
My God.
and then there's this an animated puff of white cloud comes out of the thing's bottom where it once was, and it's gone.
What the fuck?
You might have hit it, you're not sure,
Jesus.
and you're laughing uncontrollably. The funniest joke in the world.
Meanwhile, upstairs, I'm going, Paradiso Purgatorio. Inferno. Huh. Maybe.
And as you say that to yourself, you realise, like the first lines of Dante's Inferno go through your mind. Nel mezzo del cammin di nostra vita, something, ritroverai selva oscura. In the middle of my life, I find myself in the middle of my life, lost in a dark wood. And you realise it doesn't really apply to you. If anybody, it applies to Eamon Peacock Moran downstairs doing his police work. And in your cold, calculating, rational manner, you realise that there are psyches and psychologies at work in this house, with its strange doors and its strange images. And if there's one person you know who can solve the puzzle, it's you. But then there's a missing piece, and you think about who else is in the house with you. And you think about Matthew Lefty Eisner. He's always been a bit of a mystery. And just then, you think you hear the sea. In that moment, and the faint echo of the bell ringing, a ship's bell ringing, tolling, tolling for thee.
It's like tarot, isn't it? You see patterns where there are none, but